getting the heat in my apartment's broke, so I've been laying under this cover for 3 days. And I've already have a booktube video on this channel about Babbit, but it was short, so I wanted to talk to you a little more about Sinclair Lewis's Babbit. This is about a real estate agent and all his hoity-toity, fancy associations, societies, lodges, athletic clubs, and insider trading in a real estate scam in Floral Heights. I'm going to read you something, because this writing is nice. It's nice. But after I'm done reading this paragraph, I want to read you something from the book, but I have it on my phone, and that is regarding the League of Higher Illumination. So, this is the final chapter, which is 34. This was a pretty big book. I don't have any other books around here. This is chapter 34. The Good Citizens League had spread through the country, but nowhere was it so effective and well esteemed as in the cities of the type of Zenith, commercial cities of a few 100,000 inhabitants, most of which, though not all, lay inland against the background of cornfields and mines, and of small towns which depended upon them for mortgage loans, table manners, art, social philosophy, and millinery. I think I looked that up, and it was hat making. But you should check. Millimery. To the League, the Good Citizens League, most of the preposterous citizens of Zenith. To the League belonged most of the preposterous citizens of Zenith. They were not all of the kind who called themselves regular guys, because these hardy fellows, these salesmen of prosperity, there were the aristocrats, that is, the men who were richer or who had been rich for more generations, the president of banks and of factories, landowners, corporations, lawyers, fashionable doctors, and a few young old men who worked not at all, but reluctantly remained in Zenith, collected lusterware and first editions as though they were back in Paris. All of them agreed that the working classes must be kept in their place, and all of them perceived the American democracy did not imply any equality of wealth, but did demand a wholesome sameness of thought, dressing, pattern, morals, and vocabulary. In this, they were like the ruling class of any other country, particularly Great Britain. But they differed in being more vigorous and in actually trying to produce the accepted standards which all classes everywhere desire, but usually despair of realizing. The longest struggle of the Good Citizens League was against the open shop, which was secretly a struggle against all union labor. Accompanying it was the Americanization movement, with evening classes in English and history and economics and daily articles in newspapers so that the newly arrived foreigners might learn that the true blue and 100% American way of settling labor troubles was for working men to trust and love their employers. Okay, so Zenith was a fictional town. He lived in the Floral Heights section. Okay, so let me see if I have this picture up. I'm sorry. Okay, this book also talks about a real estate coup. Now, I've also been reading some other stuff. So let me just get to the Babbit. And I'm just going to read them in order. The Lodge in Babbit. This is talking about the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks. It was a social club for George F. Babbit. A way for him to socialize and discuss business, conforming to the middle class culture. He used the lodge, which is the Elks Lodge, to engage in man talk and reinforcing his self as a solid citizen. He entertained them at the men's club, at a church. Now, AI says it called it obscene and valiant, where, like, that's what they were doing there. They were being obscene and valiant. Here's a reading. His clubs and associations were food and comfortable to his spirit. Of a decent man in Zenith, it was required that he should belong to one, preferably two or three, or numerous lodges and prosperity-boosting lunch clubs. The Rotarians, the Kiwanis, the Boosters, the Odd Fellows, the Moose, Masons, Redmen, Woodmen, Owls, Eagles, Maccabees, Knights of Pythias, Knights of Columbus, or other secret orders characterized by a high degree this says high degree of hardiness, sound morals, reverence for the Constitution. There was 4 reasons for joining these orders. It was the thing to do, and it was good for business, since lodge brothers frequently became customers. It gave to Americans unable to become geheimerate or commendatore such unctuous honorifics as high-worthy recording scribe and grand hagau, to add to the commonplace distinctions of colonel, judge, and professor. And it is permitted that the swaddled American husband to stay away from home for one evening a week. The lodge was his piazza, his pavement cafe. He could shoot pool and talk man talk and be obscene and valiant. Okay, another group in this book was called the Good Citizens League, and it's often referred to as the League or an alliance. It was a conformist anti-union group that forced its members to conform to 100% American ideology, pushing for open shop and opposing labor unions, I guess. The Good Citizens League fights against organized labor. It's disguised as an Americanization movement. Now, insider trading, because this was like he was a real estate agent, so and he was in all these clubs, so he knew, where uh, the new road was going to be and stuff like that. So he had like first-hand knowledge about the properties. So he was engaging in corrupt business practices, manipulative speculating, because Babbit and his peers, they participated in deals to turn quick profits. Babbit learned that the local grocer wanted to expand. So he used his insider knowledge to have his friend purchase the empty lot next door and then manipulates the prices and made $9,000. While Babbit net $450 in commission. Babbitry. Babbit disguises his greed as a vision or friendly advice, selling his property to acquaintances at vastly inflated prices. Get-rich-quick business culture, rather than legally perpetrating it. What seemed ethical, but it was fraud, unethical, finagling, secret land speculation, secret intelligence network, purchasing valuable land plots. And this was just business as usual. Like, he wasn't a criminal. It was just conformed fraud, I guess. He used his secret association with bankers and politicians to get inside information, which he uses to buy properties up cheap. The real estate coup included the Street Traction Company. Officials secretly planned to develop new transit lines. They're still doing that. How long is this? How about I'm reading a little bit more. Okay, the Good Citizens League was a conformist organization. Intense social pressure to conform to conservative, pro-business American values. The League was a tool for bullying, enforcing conservative conformity, enforcing the anti-union movement, open shop. Okay, here's the League of Higher Illumination. Oh my gosh, hold on, did I just go away? Here it is. The Zenith branch of the League of Higher Illumination met in a smaller ballroom at the Hotel Thornleigh, a refined apartment with pale green walls and plaster wreaths of roses refined. Parquet flooring, ultra-refined, frail gilt chairs. Here were gathered 65 women and 10 men. It says Miss Mudge was introduced by the president of the League of Higher Illumination, an oldish young woman. So, I guess that's all I wanted to tell you about this book.